Mormon doctrine, Mormon theology, Mormon history, everything points to this idea that marriage is between men and women. A common theme with queer Mormons is that when we come out, there's an assumption that because we are claiming this identity, that we're living these sinful lives. In the LGBT community, when we mention the November policy, everyone just knows what that means because it really shook our world. The rest of the church in the straight Mormon world, it was kind of just another day. It wasn't a big deal. November policy, it was a policy changed in the handbook. There were two parts to it. The first says that same-sex couples or people in same-sex marriages are apostates and are on grounds for excommunication. And the second part is that children of same-sex couples are not allowed to participate fully in the church. They cannot receive baby blessings, they can't be baptized, they can't receive the priesthood, can't go on a mission until they are old enough to move out and disavow their parents' relationship. That has changed a little bit since the policy was released. The verbiage has changed to say they can't do these things without approval from their area authority. The church has never endorsed same-sex relationships, and so it came as no surprise that the church would say that people in same-sex relationships are in violation of the commandments and are grounds for excommunication. Thinking about my future, that I had in my mind that me and my husband and my children would go to church on Sunday. We would be engaged and involved in our ward. To think that regardless of my engagement in the church and my faith and teaching my children to be true to their faith, that wasn't good enough. Because of who I love, my children have to sit these things out. We talk about the culture, these monumental experiences that these kids go through, whether it's baptism, it's a confirmation, it's these small advancements in the priesthood or in young women's, how we make these advancements a big deal. And there are rites of passages in our church. My kids are gonna have to sit them out. Do I put my kids through that, or do we just find somewhere else to worship? But really question, where do I belong? The worst is people distance themselves. They don't know how to interact with gay people, so they just avoid us, jumping to conclusions. By being out and being okay with who I am, therefore I am anti-Mormon in opposition to truth. I decided that here on out, I'm going to become an advocate for the LGBT community in a capacity where I am an out gay person. I'm not gonna be ashamed anymore. I have a sign, Hug a Gay Mormon. I walked around Temple Square for the women's session of conference, welcoming people, trying to build connection and empathy and visibility. I think that the support has been more positive than negative. I think that the church is changing in that regard to empathize with the queer Mormon experience. A lot of people that don't get it still, and they'll stick with that. I see a cultural shift that's happening slowly where people want to understand, people want to express that Christ-like love, whoever. We're not something to be afraid of. We want to worship God, and we want a place to feel safe and loved. We don't want to have to forsake our faith community in order to find that. Hopefully finding a way to build those bridges between these seemingly opposing communities and ideologies. Help people see that there is some kind of overlap there and that people are at least trying.